بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. So the second caliph mentioned, and we will come to the source, that there were two types of mut'ah that were legal during the time of the Prophet. وَأَنَا أُحَرِّمُهُمَا, and I am the one who illegalized them or delegalized them, and I punish over them. Mut'atul Hajj wa Mut'atul Nisa. What is Mut'atul Hajj? Mut'atul Hajj, one of them, and Mut'atul Nisa. We spoke about Mut'atul Nisa last time, and we will continue the rest of it tonight, inshallah. Mut'atul Hajj, what is it? Mut'atul Hajj, we have three types of Hajj in Islam. Hajjul Ifrad, Hajjul Qiran, Hajjul Tamattu'. Hajjul Ifrad, Al-Ifrad. Al-Ifrad. We have Hajj, three types. One, Al-Ifrad. Second, Al-Qiran. Not Al-Quran, Al-Qiran. Third, At-Tamattu'. At-Tamattu' applies to us because we are not living in Mecca, neither in the vicinity of Mecca. We are outsiders. So when we go to Hajj, we perform Hajjut Tamattu'. What does Tamattu' mean? Tamattu' means that there are two parts. Part one is Umratul Tamattu'. Part two is Hajjul Tamattu'. So when you go, you do Umrah, but not Umrah Mufrada, not an independent Umrah. A Umrah that is linked to the Hajj, a prelude to the Hajj, a preparation for the Hajj, Umrah Tamattu'. Then you do Hajj Tamattu'. So you go to the miqat. There are 6 or 7 miqats surrounding Mecca, the Haram. You do your ihram, your niyyah, your talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, and then you do the Umrah. You come to Mecca, you do the Umrah in Mecca. What is the Umrah? The Umrah in Mecca is tawaf 7 times, the prayers of the tawaf, and then sa'i between Safa and Marwa, and then taqsir, no tawafun nisa, that's it. Then you get out of your ihram, and then you wait until you go to Arafat. So this time you wait in Mecca. You have to be in Mecca, you can't leave Mecca. It could be 2 days, it could be 1 day, it could be 10 days, it could be 1 month between the Umrah and the Hajj. Okay? And you are staying in Mecca. During this time, whatever it is, whether 1 day or 1 month, you are allowed to do everything because you did taqsir and you exited yourself from ihram. So you can wear perfume, things that were forbidden in ihram, you can do them, including having relationship with your wife, with your spouse. Umar came and he forbade relationship with one's wife between Umrah and Hajj. He said this is unacceptable. Why? And he justified his action based on you are here to worship. You are not here to entertain yourself. How come you have relationship with your wife here? You are in a holy place. You are here for Hajj. So stay away from that. It is inappropriate. Because he saw someone, I'll read the hadith for you, the incident. He saw someone his hair was wet. So he asked him, why your hair is wet? So he said, I had ghusl janaba. He said, are you here? You are still here in a place and you are muhrim? He said, yeah, I'm muhrim. A while ago. This is before he became muhrim. He had a relationship with his wife. He had ghusl janaba and then he made ihram and he came to Arafat. Umar said to him, لا تتمتعوا. He said, you don't look like someone who's muhrim. إنما المحرم الأشعث الأغبر الأذفر. Someone who has not washed his hair, someone who's dusty, someone who's tired. This should be the muhrim. You are mashallah clean and you look nice. Your hair is wet. So then he ordered that no more relationship between men and women in this period between Umrah and Hajj.
Can you summarize that again? If you go to the Umrah, can you have a time in between?
Yeah. See, when we go to Hajj, we have to do Umrah first.
Right.
And then we do the Hajj.
Right.
So when we come to Mecca first, we come on a Umrah trip, Umrah to Tamattu.
Right.
So once we finish with the Umrah, we wait in Mecca a few days before we go and do Hajj in Arafat. Okay? So that time where we stay in Mecca, it could be, normally nowadays it's about 6 or 7 days. But it used to be a month.
Right.
Okay? In the old days. Some people, they do it one day. They come one day before Hajj. So they do the Umrah, immediately they go to Hajj.
Right.
So it could be one day, it could be 1 month.
Right.
Omar said, in this period, no husband has right to approach his wife. Haram. Now, some jurists say that was a Jahili tradition before Islam.
What was Jahili?
That they did not approach their wives during this time. But when the Prophet came, he gave permission to the Sahaba, to his community, to have relationships with their wives. After they cut their hair here for the Umrah, they do taqsir, then you are out of ihram. Everything for you is halal. But Umar did not like this idea. And the jurists, including Sunni jurists, they say this is the sunnah of Umar. This is the opinion of Umar. They all agree, unanimously. They have no problem with that. That the Prophet did permit the relationship, but Umar was the one who prohibited it. This is why, even in the Sunni tradition today, nobody cares about this fatwa of Umar. Nobody cares about it.
Across the board, all of the schools?
All of them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they pick and choose what they like?
No, because they say this is a purely Umar's opinion, his fatwa. So if it exists, it existed during his time. We cannot stretch it to our own times. So this is mut'atul hajj. Now go back to our subject, mut'atul nisa. Okay? Let me erase this. And we go back to our subject. We have a few points here to present.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, yeah.
I guess the concept is he a legalized relationship with your wife, whether it's temporary or permanent? Both?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, even if you're permanent wife. Don't touch your wife. During this period, don't touch your wife. And he said something, I cannot mention it, in front of the camera, because it is X-rated. He mentioned that, it's in the book. That I don't want men going to Arafat while they are dripping, You know what is the meaning of dripping. This is what he said, basically. So, this was his opinion, yeah. So, now we go back to the temporary marriage, the timed marriage. Some people say Dr. Ali asked me this question yesterday. Some people say, why did he forbid the temporary marriage? In the Sunni tradition, they have few justifications for him. One of these justifications is that one of the Sahaba by the name of Amr ibn Harith. Amr ibn Harith, this is in Fath al-Bari. Fath al-Bari is one of the books that explains Sahih al-Bukhari. Sharh, it's called Sharh. Sahih al-Bukhari has many shuruh, many books that explains it. One of them is Fath al-Bari, ala Sharh Sahih al-Bukhari. Fath al-Bari, he says that this Sahabi by the name of Amr ibn Harith, قدم عمرو بن حريث الكوفة فاستمتع بمولاة. He had a temporary marriage with a wife which is not free, owned, مولاة. فأتي بها عمر وهي حبلى. So she got pregnant, they brought her before Umar. So Umar asked Amr ibn Harith, did you have relationship with her? He said, yes, temporary relationship. فذلك حين نهى عنها عمر. At that time, Umar decided to illegalize this or delegalize this tradition. There are other stories that I'm not going to read them in Arabic, but going to tell you the meaning of them. That others also, other companions of the Prophet, they had relationship and the wife got pregnant, and when Umar realized that, in one of the occasions, فَجَحَدَ وَلَدَهَا. The husband denied that this is his son. So when the news reached Umar, he decided to ban temporary marriage. So they say he had a reason, because it was being manipulated and misused.
Sorry, in the first case, you said the wife was not free and she's like a slave? Or she's a slave, right?
Now you remember I said about Imam al-Razi in his book Tafsir al-Kabir. Yesterday I said that when Umar says, وَأَنَا أَنْهَا عَنْهُمَا, I am the one who forbids them and ban them, that it was not abrogated during the time of the Prophet then. Then we realized that it was Umar who did the abrogation, not the Prophet. But then Al-Razi, he tries to justify the work of the second caliph. I didn't mention this part last night. What did he say? He said, when Umar stressed that I banned them, it does not mean he himself. He must have heard the Prophet banning them. So he's depending on the ban of the Prophet. Why? You know why? Because Imam al-Razi, Ali, listen to this, Dr. Ali. He says, because if Umar is banning that, then he's banning something that is legal, that was made legal by the Prophet. And if he does that, لَزِمَ تَكْفِيرُهُ. لَزِمَ, it is mandatory to do takfir to Umar. And وَتَكْفِيرُ كُلُّ مَنْ لَمْ يُحَارِبْ. Anyone who did not fight against him also is kafir. Because they know he's banning something that the Prophet and God made halal. So here we realize, because nobody was fighting against Umar, you forgot that Imam Ali was the first one. You don't have to carry the sword and go on. You notify him, you tell him this is wrong. And Imam Ali did say this to him. And many Sahaba did say this to him. So he says, when we find that nobody was fighting the caliph, then it means that the Prophet was the one who banned. not Umar. Because if Umar does that, this is a very serious crime. And Umar here, لازم تكفيره. We have to say he's kafir. Another person comes, he does sharh on Bukhari. And that sharh is Irshad al-Sari. The first one was Fath al-Bari. This one Irshad al-Sari. بشرح البخاري. Because it has to be a rhythm. So they choose, yeah. Irshad al-Sari was written by someone whose name is Qastalani. He says, when Umar said, I ban, it means the Prophet banned it. But Umar was the only one who heard it from the Prophet. Other Sahaba, they didn't hear. So now Umar is telling them what he heard from the Prophet. Look at the justification.
Wow. So during Abu Bakr's Khalifa period, why didn't he mention anything to him at the time?
And then this, the banning happened, some people say 2 years into, some people say at the end of his reign. At the end, not in the beginning.
Wow.
So it means 10 years has passed from his reign, and then he banned.
I say also Ibn Harith, what did he do wrong?
Amr. He didn't do wrong.
Like what?
No, the wife was pregnant. The wife was pregnant, and Umar said, how come you...
She was already pregnant.
Yeah.
When he had a relation with her.
Yeah. No, he made her.
Oh, he made her pregnant.
He made her pregnant from a lawful marriage.
I don't know what the Umar...
But Umar didn't like this. How do you make someone pregnant through temporary marriage?
But Maulana, why they rejected Mut'at al-Hajj and this one?
Because with this one, they claim that the Prophet made it legal and then illegal. One of them says 7 times. It becomes at certain time in one of the battles legal, and then when they come back Medina illegal, and then legal, and then illegal, and then 7 times. This is what they say. Of course, Ahlul Bayt, they say no. It was legal and it remained legal, and it was not illegalized. Never was it legalized. But they claim that. It was on and off, and on and off, on and off.
They claim it based on the hadith?
Yeah, stories. They bring stories. Easy to bring a hadith. So they claim, few of them, they say no, this is the banning of Umar. Definitely the Prophet didn't ban. During the time of Abu Bakr, it was not banned. This is the word. But the majority of them, they attribute the banning, the prohibition to the Prophet. That the Prophet said, don't do that anymore. Yes, it was legal during certain times, but then the Prophet stopped. He said, stop, don't do that. Whereas Mut'atul Hajj, no, they say, never the Prophet banned this. This is the work of Umar. He didn't like the view. He said, I don't like, people are here for ziyarah, for spirituality. Then they should refrain from these things.
Is there any points like in the Shia thought, like where the Prophet would ban it temporarily for a certain event, or not really? There's never do that. Okay.
No. We have certain things which are counted and well known that they were allowed to be done, and then it was prohibited. It is in the Quran, mostly in the Quran. Such as what? I'll give you. Such as in the beginning of Islam, if a married wife, she commits fornication, she has a relationship, and the husband finds out, he would punishes her by keeping her under house arrest until she dies. Under house arrest. This was abrogated or modified, not abrogated. That if the husband finds out or the hakim finds out, then they take her for punishment. Then this is not the jurisdiction of the husband anymore. This is under the jurisdiction of the hakim, the judge. Okay? Things like that, which are well known. These things were changed because of an ayah in the Quran. The ayah comes and abrogates. They say there are about 30 places, 30 rulings that It was introduced through an ayah, and it was cancelled and abrogated through an ayah too. That does not apply to the temporary marriage. You know what some naive scholars say? They say Surah Al-Mu'minun abrogated Surah Al-Nisa. Wasn't it chapter Surah the Mut'ah was in chapter 4, Surah Al-Nisa 24. Okay? They say Surah Al-Mu'minun came and abrogated it. Why? Because Surah Al-Mu'minun says, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ. Believers are protective of their families, of their private parts. إِلَّا, except they can have sex, إِلَّا عَلَى أَزْوَاجِهِمْ, with their wives, أَوْ مَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُهُم, what they own. They can have sex with these two types. And mut'ah is not part of wives. It's not part of marriage.
Isn't it part of the second one though?
No, it's not part. It's part of the first one, wife. But temporary. Wives. They call her wife. Mut'ah wife. Temporary marriage. Why not part of the first one? So they come naively, they say, this verse abrogated this one. But they forgot something very important. This one is Mecca or Madani? This is Madani. Mu'minun is Mecca. So how come the one who came first abrogates the one that came second? This one came second. It cannot be abrogated because Mu'minun is before in Mecca. Several years before in Mecca. But they are naive. See? And I had this. In one of the debates, the Sunni Imam was telling me, this is not, because the Quran says you can have sex only with two groups. إِلَّا عَلَى أَزْوَاجِهِمْ أَوْ مَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُهُم. Either wife or what your right hand possesses, you own. And this means that mut'ah is out, and this ayah came to abrogate the mut'ah. I said to him, wait a second. You made two mistakes. One mistake is that the surah of mut'ah, فَمَا اسْتَمْتَعْ, it came after Surah Al-Mu'minun. This is Madani. That one is Makki. So how come the first one abrogates the second? The second should abrogate the first, not vice versa. He didn't know that this is Makki and that is Makki. Believe me, he didn't know. He was shocked. Number two, the Quran says, إِلَّا عَلَى أَزْوَاجِهِمْ. And this is zawaj. This is not a relationship. This is not a boyfriend, girlfriend. This is not a mistress. She's called a wife. She's called a wife. So, okay. So they say that was the reason, these are some of the justifications. And then there was a debate between Abdullah ibn Zubayr and Abdullah ibn Abbas. By the way, both are cousins to the Prophet. Abdullah ibn Abbas is the son of Al-Abbas. Abbas is the uncle of the Prophet. Abdullah ibn Zubayr is the first cousin of the Prophet, second cousin of the Prophet. His father is the first cousin, Zubayr ibn al-Awwam. Zubayr is the son of the aunt of the Prophet. Okay? So Abdullah ibn Zubayr is the second cousin to the Prophet. Abdullah ibn Abbas, the first cousin of the Prophet. There were an argument between them. And this hadith is mentioned by Sunanul Bayhaqi. Al-Bayhaqi, one of the narrators of hadith, transmitters, muhaddith, he has a book called As-Sunanul Kubra, or generally known as Sunanul Bayhaqi. He narrates this story on the authority of Jabir bin Abdullah al-Ansari, the very well-known companion of the Prophet. He said, إن ابن الزبير ينهى عن المتعة وإن ابن عباس يأمر بها. So, قال على يدي جرى الحديث تمتعنا مع رسول الله. Jabir bin Abdullah al-Ansari says, we practiced. Ibn Zubair says it's haram. We did practice it during the time of the Prophet. ومع أبي بكر, during the reign of Umar. فلما ولي عمر, when Umar became caliph, خطب الناس فقال إن رسول الله هذا الرسول وإن هذا القرآن هذا القرآن وإنهما كانتا متعتان على عهد رسول الله وأنا أنهى عنهما وأعاقب عليهما. I am the one that bans them and punish over them. إحداهما متعة النساء ولا أقدر على رجل تزوج امرأة إلى أجل إلا غيبته بالحجاب. If I catch someone who married a lady for a timed marriage, إلى أجل. أجل means timed marriage, timed period. إلا غيبتها, I will make him absent with a stone, meaning I'll stone him, kill him. والأخرى متعة الحج. The second one is متعة الحج. And the hadith, the same hadith that the fight happened, the quarrel happened between Abdullah ibn Zubair, who used to prohibit the mut'ah, and Abdullah ibn Abbas, who used to accept the mut'ah, also is mentioned in Sahih Muslim. Also in Sahih Muslim. Interestingly enough, some scholars, even within the Sunni tradition, they accept the mut'ah. Why?
Today they do?
Yeah, today and yesterday. Because there is no consensus on that, by the way. No consensus. No, there's no consensus.
Probably because they,
And some caliphs who came after Umar, Sunni caliphs.
Maybe because of the same reason as Mutat al-Hajj being they don't believe
Exactly. Because they say, because Umar prohibited it, it means his prohibition is illegal. We don't buy it.
So what is your view about Umar in general after they...
I would tell you. No, they say he's a good man, but he has a mistake in this field, in this fatwa. Doesn't matter, Yahya ibn Aktham was a very famous judge in Kufa, in Basra. He was appointed by Ma'mun al-Abbasi. So he asked one of the old men in Basra, بِمَا اقْتَدَيْتَ فِي جَوَازِ الْمُتْعَةِ? Who did you follow in the permission of committing mut'ah? He said, my leader is Umar ibn al-Khattab. He said, Umar? كيف? وعمر كان أشد الناس فيها. He was the harshest person when it came to mut'ah. He was fighting mut'ah. He was persecuting, or prosecuting over it. The Shaykh said to him, because al-khabar sahih, the riwayah is authentic, that إنه صعد المنبر, he climbed the pulpit, Umar, فقال إن الله ورسوله قد أحل لكم متعتين. God and his apostle, they made lawful for you two mut'ah, متعة الحج ومتعة النساء, وإني محرمهما عليكم ومعاقب عليهما. So I am the one who's... So we accept his shahada when he said God and the Prophet permitted them. We accept that from him. But when he says I prohibit, we don't accept from him. So it was Umar who made me follow the mut'ah. The other story is that Ibn Khallakan, a very famous historian, he has a book called Wafayatul A'yan. He's Sunni. He says, Ma'mun al-Abbasi, one day his judge that was appointed by him, Yahya ibn Aktham, he came, he found Ma'mun brushing his teeth, yastak, from siwak. Siwak is the name, and the proverb is yastak, cleaning his teeth. He said, and he was furious, Ma'mun, the Abbasid caliph. And he was saying to himself, متعتان كانتا على عهد رسول الله وعلى عهد أبي بكر وأنا أنهى عنهما. He was imitating Umar, that two mut'as were permitted during the time of the Prophet and Abu Bakr, and I am the one. And then he says, Ma'mun, he continues, وَمَنْ أَنْتَ يَا جُعَلْ? Who are you? Oh, the hard-headed man, the stubborn man. Who are you to prohibit this? This is Ma'mun. This is a caliph. So many people didn't, including the Sahaba I mentioned, Jabir ibn Abdullah. This is a heavyweight Sahabi. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, Ubay ibn Ka'b. By the way, Ubay, he has no good relationship with Imam Ali. But he refused to accept the verdict of Umar. And then after that, the Tabi'een, Sa'id ibn Jubair, Mujahid, Tawus, And of course, one of the people who did not accept his father's fatwa was his son, Abdullah ibn Umar. He didn't accept his father in two places when it comes to Mut'atul Hajj and Mut'atul Nisa. And when he was asked, and this is in Sunni books, this is in Musnad Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, his tendency, he's Salafi, Ahmad ibn Hanbal. So in his book, Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, he writes the story that سَأَلَ رَجُلٌ, a man asked Abdullah ibn Umar, the son of the second caliph, عن المتعة, متعة النساء. فقال, Abdullah ibn Umar said, والله ما كنا على عهد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم زانين ولا مسافحين. It means when we practice that, we did not commit fornication during the time of so it means I did practice that during the time of the Prophet, and I wasn't a fornicator. I was doing something legal. And then he was asked that, but your father, inna abaka qad naha anha, your father has forbidden that. فقال Abdullah, the son of Umar, said, أرأيت إن كان أبي نهى عنها وصنعها رسول الله. If my father is prohibiting that, the Prophet is allowing it or practicing it, صنعها. أأمر أبي نتبع أم أمر رسول الله? Which command we should follow? My father's command or the command of the Prophet? So the man said to him, بل أمر رسول الله, definitely the command of the Prophet. This is in Tirmidhi. Tirmidhi is one of the 6 books. Tirmidhi is one of the six books. Tirmidhi. He writes this story on behalf of the son of the second caliph. And then Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas, also one of the leaders in that tradition. There is a discussion between him and someone else where Sa'ad said, لا يصنع ذلك إلا من جهل أمر الله. Nobody would ban this act unless he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know. He's ignorant about God's commands. And then Umran ibn al-Husayn. Umran ibn al-Husayn, he's considered one of the virtuous of the companions and most knowledgeable. And Umar, he dispatched him to Basra. He dispatched this companion from Medina to Basra لِيُفَقِّهَ النَّاسِ, to teach people fiqh. Again, this man said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ أَنزَلَ فِي الْمُتْعَةِ آيَةً. God has sent an ayah regarding mut'ah. وَمَا نَسَخَهَا بِآيَةٍ أُخْرى. This was never abrogated by another verse. وَأَمَرَنَا رَسُولُ اللَّهِ بِالْمُتْعَةِ. The Prophet ordered us to have temporary marriage. وَمَا نَهَانَا عَنْهُ. He never, and this is a companion with the Prophet. He never asked us to stop that. قال رجل, and then he comments on what Umar did. قال رجل فيها برأيه ما شاء. A man, referring to Umar, said something according to his own view, whatever he liked to say. And this hadith has been narrated in three: Bukhari, Muslim, wa Ibn Abi Shaybah. Three important sources in their books. So, even in the other tradition, there is no consensus on accepting what Umar did. And it is a controversy now, even nowadays. Even nowadays, some of them, they have the guts, the courage to come and say, he doesn't have the right. Though they justify that, the Prophet says, "Alaykum bi sunnati wa sunnatul khulafa ar-rashidin min ba'di." Fabricated hadith. Follow my tradition and the tradition of the khulafa. But many of them do not accept that. And Shaykh al-Mufid, of course, one of the greatest Shia narrators of hadith, he attributes this saying to Imam al-Sadiq, لَيْسَ مِنَّا مَنْ لَمْ يَقُلْ بِمُتْعَتِنَا. He's not part of us, the one who doesn't believe in the mut'ah. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in this, he says, وَأُحِلَّ لَكُمْ مَا وَرَاءَ ذَلِكُمْ أَن تَبْتَغُوا بِأَمْوَالِكُمْ مُحْصِنِينَ غَيْرَ مُسَافِحِينَ فَمَا اسْتَمْتَعْتُمْ بِهِ مِنْهُنَّ فَآتُوهُنَّ أُجُورَهُنَّ فَرِيضَةً. Okay. Now, practical question. If someone agreed with a lady to have a temporary marriage, and he forgot to mention the dowry, he mentioned the time, he said 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, but he did not mention the dowry. Does that contract go through? What do you think?
Unintentionally, he just forgot?
Yeah, he forgot. They were rushing, you know.
No, it's not.
She didn't ask him about mahar and he didn't mention it.
No, it's
So,
not valid. I don't think.
exactly. If you don't mention the mahar, even in the permanent one, they say it is not valid. So you have to repeat. You have to repeat the act. Now, the other